Hi everyone. As part of the week 1 moodboard project, you'll be collecting a set of images to build an image collage that represents inspirations for the visual direction you want to take your project. And I thought it would be helpful to provide a quick video demonstration to give some tips on how to best go about collecting those images and adding them to your moodboard template. And here you see the moodboard template. The space provided takes up the majority of the first page, and that is where you'll be adding these images. And the way you organize those images is really up to you. You can group them into categories, say according to color schemes or textures or motifs or imagery, say if you want it nature or a particular type of architecture or what have you. And you can group them that way, or you can just have individual images, and I recommend adding notes by simply adding comments or even text boxes to the page to provide notes on why you picked a particular image. And you can delete these instructions when you begin creating your image collage. So I've gone to Morguefile, and Morguefile is a website that provides stock photos, and these are all royalty-free, copyright-free, so you are able to use these without any restriction. For this first part of your moodboard project, you can use Google Image Search and use copyrighted images, since our purpose here is simply to collect inspirations. These aren't images that you will actually be using within any design project. They're just things that show the overall look and feel that you're going for. But I'm going to use Morguefile because it has a really good collection of images, and for the most part I don't have to worry about them being watermarked and so forth. So let's just say, for demonstration purposes, that I wanted an antique book theme in my design, and I'm going to do a quick search and see what's available on Morguefile in the way of antique books. And you see there's a pretty good collection here, and you can scroll through the results and see what you come up with. And as you start seeing things that kind of match the look that you had in mind, and kind of like this picture with the bookshelf, you can select those and download and start to collect these. And I'm going to my desktop, and I'm going to create a new folder just to keep things organized, and I'll just call these the folder moodboard photos. And each one I find I'll save to that folder. And this is offering me a trial. I'm just going to ignore that. And going through and just kind of picking out some. And this is strictly for demonstration, so it really doesn't matter at this point what I pick, but I'm just saving a couple. And you're going for at least 10 images for your own mood board. You can go with more than 10, but that's the minimum. Okay, so once you have your images collected, what I'd like for you to do is optimize them. That means make them a smaller file size so that your mood board doesn't become unmanageably large. And if you look at the two photos I just downloaded, one is 580 kilobytes, which isn't too bad. That's about half a megabyte. But still, if you had 10 of those, it would add up pretty quickly. And then this other one is 5.4 megabytes by itself. So that's, if you can imagine, you have 10 of those, that's going to be a big file to upload to FSO when you go to turn in your work. So what I would like you to do is just click these, double click, to open them in Preview. And then in Preview, if you go to Tools, Adjust Size, you'll get this little pop-up. And you see the resolution is 72, which is good. That's pretty low resolution, but the size is pretty huge. And this is set to inches. So you see this image is 48 inches high, which is enormous. So I'm just going to change that to something a little more manageable and set it to 5 inches. And click OK. It looks tiny, but if you go to View and select Actual Size, you see it's still visible. It's not the high resolution image we had before, but you can still see enough of the detail to tell what is going on there and take an inspiration from that. And then I can just save that. It saves automatically, but just to be safe. Now notice the file size. It's gone from 5.4 megabytes down to 135 kilobytes, so much more manageable. And I'll do the same thing with this second image. And this one's not as bad, but it's still very large in size. So I'm just making these much more manageable size. And save. So do this for each of your 10 or more images before you add them to your mood board. Look, that one's 31 kilobytes now, so much more manageable. So now once I have those optimized in these small file sizes, I can start dropping them onto the mood board. And this is the easiest way to get them on there, is simply to drag and drop and then reposition them. And you can resize them on the document to make sure everything fits, and just get those instructions out of the way. And put them in whatever organization you would like to arrange them in. You can resize them. You can make images larger or smaller depending on how important they are to your overall design idea. And once those are all in place, you can save your file. And you'll have a nice compact file size, because once you get over, say, 5 megabytes, then you're looking at a pretty big upload for FSO to handle. And it might take a few minutes to get it all uploaded. And if you get into, say, 40 or 50 megabytes, that's a little bit much, and it will take a lot of upload time, and you don't want to deal with that if you're uploading right at the deadline. So just some tips for you to think about and to work with as you complete this first portion of your mood board.